I'm going to start with the DeathAdder. That's the 2013 edition, and it's the mouse I've been exclusively using for almost a year and a half. It's been quite an adventure with it. I had times where it was really uncomfortable and times when it was like the best mouse ever. So let's get started. As you can see, and you could see from the intro, I have some tape here. And the reason I have it there is because I don't find the rubber side grips, which are here, very grippy, like they slip a lot if your hands are sweaty. And because of that, and my hands do quite sweat a lot, I decided to put them on, and it really made the world of a difference. It's very grippy now and I can control the mouse without any problems. My hand is around 17.5 centimeters from here to here, and that makes the DeathAdder not the perfect option for me given my hand size. The Razer DeathAdder I would specify as a large mouse. It's made for large hands, given that its length from here to here is nearly 30 centimeters and the width is around 7 centimeters. That's quite a hefty mouse. Even though my hand is small, the mouse actually fitted like a glove. I do lose some control of the mouse when I'm gaming, and I have to be like really precise just because of this size difference, but it's not something that I cannot get over it. It's definitely a good mouse, which for 1 year has given me a lot of good headshots and good accuracy in games which require a lot of it. Mainly Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is the game I've been playing for the past half year. To get into the specifications of the mouse, it has 6400 DPI 4G sensor, but I don't think like the number is that important. It's the model that's important. It's a variation of the Avago 3310, which is one of the best sensors on the market right now. It's a perfect sensor mouse. I think some people on the internet claim it has smoothing, but that's not something I notice. The buttons are very responsive, as you can see, but unfortunately the Razer DeathAdder is famous with a double clicking issue, which my mouse has as well. So when you press the mouse button once, it clicks twice. That doesn't affect my performance in games, since for some reason it only happens in Windows. This is a really nice program that I use for testing mice. You can test the real resolution, its speed and precision. If you click this button, you have to hold mouse 1 for 10 centimeters of movement and it will show you real DPI. Let's test it out. So I align it, move for 10 centimeters. It gives me around 960 of real DPI. The speed, as you can see, it keeps a nice polling rate, and if I do a big flick, which I'll do in a second, it gives very nice speeds. I've been up to 5 meters per second without malfunction. And the precision takes a bit longer, but it gives a very good number on the DeathAdder. I think it's somewhere around 99.8.6. It's like above 99%, which is more than perfect for any type of gaming. So it gave me 99.5 this time. The software is, as I said, something a lot of people don't like, and I'm not one of those people, and let's go over it. You can see here you can choose what each button does. On the performance tab, you choose your DPI, your acceleration and your polling rate. While on the lighting, you choose what kind of lighting you like. It's only green, but it can act in different ways. On the fourth tab, you calibrate your mouse for your mouse pad or mouse mat, depends on what you're using. Here you can create a macro, and on the stats page, it creates the stats and heat map gameplay analysis, which shows you some button presses, mouse clicks, and other useless gibberish. The next contender is the Logitech G303. That's a mouse that I decided to buy just to test it, since it has a different shape, a diamond shape, which it's not made for everybody as the ergonomic shape for the DeathAdder is. It's more of a niche market mouse, but I find it very comfortable with my hand size, and a friend who has a larger hand size finds it just as good. It's made for claw grip or fingertip. Don't believe that you can use palm grip with it. Like I tried, here you can see it, but it just doesn't work because my finger hits this edge. If your fingers are longer, perhaps it could work for you, something like that. Now onto the specs. It has the Avago 3366 sensor, I think that's what the number is. It's like the best sensor on the market, and it has a Delta Zero technology built in, which I'm not exactly what it does, but it makes it so that the mouse will never malfunction. I think up to 8 meters per second it won't malfunction, and I don't think there's a living human being that can reach such speeds. It has the on-the-fly DPI switching from this button, which the DeathAdder doesn't. It has an onboard memory, a 32-bit microcontroller, and the buttons are very good because they're something new. They're like spring-based. There's a spring for each button, and that makes it so that wherever you click it, it requires the same pressure. While on the DeathAdder, it's a bit different because if you click it like here, it's easier than if you click it right there on the back side. The G303 doesn't have such issues. The polling rate is as well 1000. It holds it even better. I think it's stable at 999, even with small movements. While the DeathAdder drops to 980, 970, something like that, but it's still stable. The DPI is up to 12,000, but that's just ludicrous. Who the fuck uses that? I'm still using 1000. The weight, it's slightly lighter than the DeathAdder, weighing at 90 grams, while the DeathAdder is 105. The difference isn't very big. Using the same program that I use with the DeathAdder, let's measure it. So if I move the mouse for 10 centimeters, the result I get is like 960. So it's nearly identical as the DeathAdder. On the speed, as you can see, the polling rate is like 1000. It's perfectly stable. That's the best mouse polling rate wise that I've tested. And now let's do a little flick. You cannot make it malfunction. And on the precision tab, let's just do it quickly. I cannot go out of the boundaries of my monitor because it makes the mouse very imprecise. Let's change the movement a bit. And here, 99.6. So it's nearly identical as the DeathAdder. Now onto the software. It's a bit more flashy compared to the DeathAdders. Here's the home screen. Now onto the settings. Here you choose your profiles and DPI settings, as well as your buttons. On the next screen you choose your lighting. I have it on color cycle, which I think is the best as it changes color every second or something like that. Then it's the surface tuning, which I use the factory since it does just fine. And on the last tab you have heat map, something similar to the one in the DeathAdder. And that's about it. Here you have settings, share and help. Nothing that we will use. Now for the direct comparison of both mice. I did some extensive testing around a week on this mouse and I got really comfortable with it. So I think my opinion could be very objective and non-biased since I've been using this mouse for so long. So let's get started with it. First, on the G303, the sensor is definitely better. I like the feel of it. The less smoothing it has. If it's called smoothing, I don't know, it just has a more raw feeling. Once I got my grip, since I've been using palm grip on the DeathAdder, once I got my claw grip mastered, the mouse became comfortable. But still I was getting some cramps, hand cramps, because I've always been using my DeathAdder with a relaxed hand position, while with the claw I have to be slightly more I have to have slightly more tension in my hand. An issue with the G303 on the other side is that I found it tilts a bit. I don't think you're able to see it, but there's like a slight tilt without the mouse actually lifting. I don't know what's the reason of it, but I died a couple of times because of it, and I do not like it, not at all. I have the rattling issue of the lenses, which I doubt you can hear, but a lot of people experience with the G303, but that is countered by the problem with the DeathAdder. That's, as a lot of people know, the double clicking. The side grips on the G303 are perfect, they grip very well, while the DeathAdder's one do not. But on the other hand, on the top, I think the DeathAdder grips slightly better, and especially if my hands are beginning to get sweaty. For a conclusion, I do have a small hand, and for me, I think I'll be sticking with the DeathAdder. The reason behind it, yes, the G303 is technically better, and if you have to choose between either of these mice, go for the G303. But the improvements are not that big, they are not enough to justify the extra 70 euros that I have to pay for this mouse. If you're in the market for a new mouse, the G303 is definitely better. But if you already have a DeathAdder and you're looking for something to upgrade, just stick to it. That was it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See ya!